All right, let's go ahead and jump back into the whole military scene, man. What was probably some of the wildest things that you fired or weaponry you've used in the military?
Well, I was a machine gunner in my platoon. You ever hear of a 249 saw?
Yeah, I use it
Yeah,
all the
that
time in Call of Duty.
yeah. Well, it's good in real life too.
Yeah, is it
That's
heavy? It looks like it's a little heavy.
compared to an AR it is, but compared to the other machine guns it isn't. It's light.
Yeah,
And
I
plus
can't
out
remember if it's is it registered under a light machine gun.
yeah, squad
Okay,
automatic weapon light machine gun.
okay, yeah, it is a good gun, and it comes with a lot of damn ammo for sure.
Absolutely. High
Yeah,
fire rate, very accurate, very controllable. You can
yeah.
you can pretty much write your name in the wall or whatever you want to do with it.
All right. So have you ever went overseas?
Yeah, I did a few tours in Iraq and Afghanistan.
All right. Well, salute to you, my friend. Hey,
Thank you,
how
brother.
was it, man? Was it a lot of people? I mean, did you see combat? Were you out there with live fire?
Absolutely. I got my CIB badge.
CIB badge. What does that mean?
That means
CIB.
you received fire and you gave fire as well in combat.
Okay. Now, a lot of people they come back, man. They seen some stuff. They come back with like PTSD and stuff like that. Do you feel as though anything that you? Because some people, man, they just have strong mentalities, and they
Yeah.
come back
Uh-huh.
perfectly fine, and they seen some shit. Uh, do you feel like you adjusted well coming back after seeing live fire like that?
Uh, you know, I probably took it easier than most. It messed with me a little bit, but that's when I got back into the drugs and alcohol and stuff to try to calm some of that down. For the most part, though, you probably wouldn't even know of talking to me that I was there.
Yeah, but that just goes to show you, man. You never know. You
Yeah, you
never know. You
can't
can
can't
never.
judge a book by its cover, me. I learned that more than once.
Never, my friend. Going into combat for the first time, how the hell was that?
Yeah, that was. I was expecting, apocalypse now. Uh, those kind of movies that you watch as a kid. That's what you think combat is, and sometimes it was like that, but not all the time. I just remember being in that plane and it not getting real until I seen the fires burning around the city in Iraq. And I'm like, this isn't a game anymore. This is about to happen.
That must be so unreal.
Yeah,
I don't think people can really understand that. Like you're you've been training for this. Okay, you've been training for it, going through boot camp, all that crap, but it doesn't really do nothing until you're there. You're there. You're
right,
like, oh my god, I'm stepping out of this vehicle.
right,
It's go time for real. Like
right.
life or death, man.
That that knot in your gut is like, all right, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna bitch out and not go? Or are you
Yeah.
gonna take it the other route and just use that as aggression and focus? You can
I
go that
almost
route
feel
too.
as though it's so much of a shock that people don't even recognize
Right.
it. It's just it don't even hit them really until like maybe after they're like, "Whoa, holy shit, man! I can't believe I just did that."
That's explained perfectly right, and that's probably one of the first times I heard it like that. It's you almost feel it feels like you're not real even when you're there, but then at times it hits you like a ton of bricks, and you just get this anxiety. And you know, some people let that take them down. Some people get over it. Everybody's different, man.
Yeah, exactly. That is completely true, man.
And it's usually the
Everyone.
big tough guys. Those are the ones that like crumble the easiest for some reason. That's not always, but a lot of the times that's kind of what happened. It's weird. You wouldn't think it'd be like that.
Yeah, you wouldn't think so. But life is funny, man. So you go into combat for your first time. You're flying in on a chopper, right?
No, I'm airborne certified, but I wasn't in an airborne unit, which means I just went through the jump school.
Oh, okay, okay.
But we're flying in just on a regular airliner, man.
Oh, and you're gonna land and just okay.
We're gonna land
Yeah.
in Kuwait, and then we're gonna bus. We bust over to kind of the border zone, caught a military aircraft, and landed in near Baghdad.
All right.
So this is
Uh,
like 2007, 2008 during the surge,
well,
but it
let's hear
wasn't
it,
during
man.
the invasion time. So we had bases set up, so we
Yeah.
could we can maneuver in without like an invasion type force needed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Uh, So how was it, man? You get in there. How was your first live getting the gunshots shot at you, man? How was that?
It's kind of hard to explain. It's just it almost sounds like fireworks. And it's just popping and cracking. It's not like the movies at all, like that kind of sound. It's just these
Yeah,
pops and cracks.
like
And
a
when
clap.
right, and when it gets close to your head, it makes a different. Like you almost feel it. You feel the shock wave come off the round go past her because it's going faster than the speed of sound.
Yeah,
So
I
you,
just pictured the Matrix when you said that.
I wish, man.
That bullet moving and the waves coming off of the
Yeah,
bullet.
well, it is kind of like that. If you see
Yeah, I
it
mean, exactly.
on
Yeah,
slow motion camera, it kind of does that a little
yeah.
bit.
Hey, back then wasn't the American Sniper dude? He was in the mix back then, wasn't he?
Yeah, yeah,
So was he
absolutely.
like some kind of damn myth and legend out there to y'all, or what?
Never heard of him, man.
Really?
Never heard of him. And I worked with SEALs, Delta, Green Berets. They trained us on a few missions. Never even heard of them. Never heard him mentioned until I got home.
That's crazy. I guess there's got to be an entertainment side to the military, but at
They're
some, you know,
right, especially with that movie. There's you got to make it entertaining. So I'm
yeah,
not
for
saying he
sure.
wasn't legit or anything, but
It's
I don't
crazy
think
how he went down too.
right.
Holy shit, man.
It just wasn't as grandiose, but he was a SEAL. He got down.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so that's crazy. I thought for sure maybe people might have been hearing about him or something. So you're out there, and when was the first time you popped off some rounds, man? What were you shooting at? Were you just kind of shooting to shoot, or what?
No, but well, the first time it was our first day there, and my squad, it's like a smaller element inside of a platoon, only about 4 or 5 of us. We got sent to go to there's a main base that we flew in on, and there's little things called forward operating bases, like smaller bases inside the city, more dangerous. You're cut off from supplies more. So we were going there to take over from another unit, and they wanted the best guys out of the unit to go first. So he took my squad, a couple guys out of another squad, and we went with our battalion commander so he could set up the talk, the headquarters, and get everything going. First day there, man, we leave. Do you ever hear of a striker?
Striker.
It looks like
Oh,
a
you talking
tank.
about the AA-12?
No, it looks
The
like a tank.
shotgun?
The
Oh,
vehicle.
okay, the automobile. Okay.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
like a
yeah, I know
tank, but
exactly
it
what you're
has
talking about.
eight wheels instead of tracks.
Yeah, yeah.
We're in them,
Okay.
and we're cruising down the road. I'm
Them
nervous. You
things
can't.
move, man.
Oh yeah, they're quiet too. And next thing you know, I just feel this thing just knock me back into the side of the wall, and it was an IED. Our first mission, first day there.
Damn, dude. Did it hurt anybody, or was it just kind of shake and rattle type of situation?
Well, the thing was, it was aimed at our battalion commander. So we knew at that point they knew who we were, what time we got in there, and who they were aiming at. There, it was aimed at him
Yeah,
inside the
they
vehicle.
had some intel, huh?
Absolutely. There's guys from all over on the big bases, India, Philippines, working there.
Yeah.
Interpreters. You never know who it is, man. That's the worst part about it.
Yep. Money too, man. Money make anybody do a little something, you know.
Yep, absolutely.
Uh,
And so
okay.
he gets hit. His vehicle gets hit. He doesn't get hurt, but he doesn't want to come out after that. That's what I mean when I said like big dudes are usually the ones that crumble.
Oh, he was shell shocked.
Yeah, he after that I didn't see him the rest of the tour. But I don't know if I blame him. I never had an EFP go over my head like he did, but he was in an EFP. It's an explosively formed projectile. What they do is they get copper and put it in a cylinder. So when it explodes, the V shape inverts and comes out like this, and it's molten copper. We have no armor that stops it. It just melts through everything like butter because it's so hot.
Yeah. It's
That's
that's
the
crazy.
explosives they were using. And it went right through our vehicle. Fortunately, it was aimed a little bit too high, so it went over his head instead of going through the vehicle. It just nipped the top of the vehicle, but went right through it.
That's scary, man.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yep.
sure he probably see like me. I'm just saying this because of my personality. If something like that were to happen to me, I would. I don't think I would be shell shocked. I think I'd be like, Jesus Christ, but I would be ready to go again. At the
Right.
same time, what do you think? You think if it went directly over your head, you think it'd be shell shocked for a second, but you'd be good to go, right?
Yeah, for a second, I'd probably be like, "Oh, what just happened?" After I got my bearings, I'm like, "Let's go snatch his soul." That's
Yeah.
what I used to say to my guys.
Yeah. Okay. What rank were you in there, man?
Just a E5 sergeant.
Okay. You had a little pool.
I got busted messing around with another army girl, so I
Ooh.
got knocked down a little bit. Then I got went back up again.
Jesus, man. I was
Yeah.
about to ask you that, man. Does any kind of relations like that happen out overseas? Not with military and military. I'm talking about like military and you know uh, civilians out there in other countries.
I'll put it this way: every now and then you see some blue-eyed, orange-haired kids running around.
You know where
So
they came from.
yeah. But
Jesus,
man, especially in infantry where women's not allowed, man.
that's crazy, man.
And then you got
Wow.
female military members that start their own bordello.
Cheap throw house. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. And they'll
And
they'll charge 50. Some of these dudes are so desperate they'll charge like $1,500 a head, and they'll be making bank. Like they cleared
1,500.
out some of these chicks' bank account, 150, $200,000 in it. Because these
Anything?
bases are huge. They're like mini cities. Some of them, you know what I mean. And they was just running it.
Anybody smoking any of that Afghanistan reefer over there?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I was taking a couple handfuls.
Oh shit! Tell me about it, man. What happened?
Uh,
Oh man, this is getting crazy, man. I love it.
we get stuff sent over. We'd be out on Afghanistan. There'd be some missions where we'd actually have to protect the poppy fields and not let the Taliban come in and take it
Really?
over. And every now and then we'd run in, because mainly the kind of missions we ran were snatch and grab, like kind of America's Most Wanted, but in Afghanistan. This is the guy we need. He's supplying IEDs. He's supplying money to the Taliban, drugs, et cetera, et cetera. We'd get like a sheet wrote out of all the stuff that he did, his location, and we go and get him. That's mainly what we did. And so every now and then we come across a little stash, and I don't know, about half of it would make it back to where it was supposed to be.
Okay, so what? What was some of these stashes contain?
Opium. Uh, what's that stuff called? Hashish.
Hashish? Yeah.
Hashish.
Okay, they didn't just have regular old weed buds.
Yeah. Some, like one or two guys would be growing them outside their house or something. I'd walk by, snatch a bud off it or something. Nothing big that I seen anyway.
What about a just a stray gold bar or something?
Yeah, I seen that too.
Really, man?
In,
What? How'd you see that?
in Saddam's Palace.
All right, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I had to handle something really quick, but let's go ahead and wrap this up. You said you went into Saddam Hussein's mansion. Tell me about this, man. How was this?
Yeah, this is one of his many. He had, some people think, up to 80 to 100 palaces all over the country.
I heard that some of his mansions were like fake gold. He was kind of like some of them were real and some of them were fake.
Yeah, it was kind of real gaudy, and like a lot of everything was lined in gold. What you can't fake though is the marble. Pretty much everything was all marble.
Really?
Toilets,
So
sinks, staircases, you name it. It was just about all marble and gold.
okay, was Saddam caught? Had they caught him yet when y'all were going through all these mansions?
At this time, they haven't yet. My first
Okay.
one.
Were you part of any kind of special forces or anything? I mean, what was it, or just a normal platoon? What?
Well, we were actually what was kind of considered a floating platoon. I wasn't specifically special forces. Like I wasn't a Green Beret or anything like that. They took us a regular infantry platoon, and we were trained up by this group called Asymmetric Warfare Group. Really high speed, high intelligence, high combat experience guys would teach us how to do this job, this specific job. Remember the snatch and grab missions I was talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they trained us up for a month or two on how to do these jobs, and we would get rotated out from fob to fob, unit unit to unit, and do those jobs in their AOs, their area of operations.
Oh man. Yeah. So when you went into these mansions, were you ever like the first one going in, or were you? What was it? I mean, was it just take
Absolutely.
whatever you want from the mansion, or what?
Sometimes, man, we got sticky fingers a couple times, but nothing serious. I mean, I wasn't there during the initial invasion, and that's when they first rushed into his palace. And there was gold bars in his bunker, cash, and a few different currency types, gold AKs, like the works. Man, this dude had everything.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. And you said, did you happen to see any kind of gold bars or anything floating around? You said.
Not floating around, but I've seen them in container Connex boxes being guarded. I was allowed to go in, and I got to see all the weapons and stuff they confiscated over the years. Just some crazy weapons, man, coming from all over the world were here. Helicopters, rockets. I mean, you name it, it was there. From
That
from all different eras too. Civil War guns were found. It was
that's wild.
crazy.
That's wild, man. Would you say the community was actually truly happy for his demise?
Yeah, a lot were,
Yeah.
because the majority of the population, it's been so long. I can't remember if it's Sunni or Shia, but they were oppressed under Saddam's rule. So whenever we took them out, a lot of people were happy. Most of the people we were fighting were foreigners coming in from Syria, Pakistan, coming in from other countries to fight. Most of
Yeah.
the local populace were okay with us. You know, some did attack us, but not a lot.
Yeah.
But
What do you
my specific job whenever we would go on these snatch and grab missions was uh, demos for the doors, either by shotgun, kicking, or blowing it up.
Yeah, I seen you strapped up in some of those pictures you sent me with the shotgun
Yeah,
and the
that was
saw. I
my
saw the
breaching.
saw as well.
Yep. I would stow the shotgun after I breach a door, and then switch over to my saw.
Yeah. Was there any times where you kicked in door, someone got lit up as soon as the door opened, or what?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And as soon as we kicked open the door, he started firing. It was actually IA leading this raid, so they were the first two in there. As soon as dudes started firing at them, they ran out. We ran in right after. He went into a room with like 3 or 4 civilians that were just sitting there. So we breached that room, went in there, laid him down, and everybody else was okay. It was scary. It was one of the most scared times I was over there, not
Yeah.
knowing what I was going into.
Yeah. Um, any other crazier, wilder moments that you might have witnessed over there?
Uh,
Bombings close to you or anything like that?
Absolutely bombings. One bombing we came up on because at one point we were a quick reaction force too. So whatever happens, somebody calls on the radio, "Hey, we need help." We're the first ones there. We ran all kinds of different missions, but on that QRF mission, this guy had 4 or 5 155 artillery shells in his trunk. Let it off on the block. There was just body parts everywhere, hands, heads, limbs, feet. Yeah,
That's
that
crazy, man.
that's one of the craziest things that, man, it kind of grossed me out, and had some little bit of nightmares after that.
Yeah, I would say so. So you witnessed airstrikes and all of that?
Yeah, A-10s gave us air support a lot of times. You know what an A-10 is?
A10, that's a I know what it is. I'm trying to put in a description for people, but yeah, I know what it is.
It,
It's like
it's
a
bas- it's basically a plane with a large minigun. What people know as a minigun. It's a Vulcan cannon.
uh huh.
And this thing just sounds like a piece of canvas ripping when it goes off.
Zzz,
It
yeah.
just burn, and actually the shells. If you're close to it, getting close to air support, you just hear the shells going off, exploding, and then you hear the gun, and then you see the plane. So it's kind of silent and comes out of nowhere. You're hit before you even know what's going on.
That's wild as hell, man.
Yeah, those were like our guardian angels, man.
Ever seen some well-known missiles drop?
A few J dams. That's about it. We lased a few targets for them to drop some missiles, mostly Apache gunships.
Pretty damn loud.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some of those videos. And the foreigners over there, they have their cell phones, and they're recording like literally probably 40 yards from a damn bomb drop, and it's crazy, man. Some of them videos they got out there, and the shock
Yeah.
waves too. I love watching the shock wave videos. They'll be filming from probably like quarter mile away or so, and then just a couple seconds shatters everything. From
Yeah.
the shock wave. The bombs are.
You feel it like shake your bones inside your body. It takes your breath away. If you're close enough, it can puncture your eardrums, explode your lungs and heart. If you're close enough, like that's the scariest part of combat. Not the gunfights, it's the explosives because you
Yeah.
can't do nothing about it. Like
Dude, I've watched a movie. I don't know if you've seen this movie. I can't remember the exact name, but if you
okay,
type it in and Google the description, it'll bring it up. Saddam Hussein had, this is a true story
uh-huh.
about his double. He had a double that would go off as him because people were trying to kill him all the damn time. If it wasn't the double of Saddam, it was the double of his brother, one of them. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure. I'm pretty sure it was Saddam though.
I believe they did both of them, even his son too. His son was actually one of the worst. Yeah, I'm gonna look it up.
Oh, okay. This is what it is. You're right. It's not Saddam. You're right. It was what you said. It's Saddam's son.
Uday.
Yep. It was
Yeah.
Saddam Hussein's son, Uday. It's about is violently coerced into becoming Uday's body double. He gives an insider's look into the life of an Iraqi tyrant. Isn't that crazy, man?
Yeah.
Because I heard, yeah, his son was really ruthless from what?
He actually enjoyed torturing and controlling and punishing people. As compared to Saddam, when Saddam would do it, it's more to restore order and keep that people from rising against them, where his son did it out of enjoyment.
Yeah. So you got to check that movie out. Oh, I didn't even tell you the name. The name of the movie, ladies and gentlemen, and for you as well. The name is The Devil's Double. The Devil's Double, man. Look it up. I
Okay.
don't know if it's on Netflix or not, but when I watched it, man, it's amazing. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy as hell. But yeah, man. Any kind of other interesting things that happened to you along the way in the military?
Uh,
Something that might stand out that you might not have talked about?
I could talk about the first time I actually got my first kill.
Really?
Yeah.
All
This
right,
this
let's
one's a
hear it,
little
man.
hard to talk about. Like
I
if
believe so.
okay.
You
Uh,
don't have to if you don't want to, man.
I've I'll tell the story how it went down. I won't get into too much detail,
Okay, yeah, I prefer not. But yeah, go ahead, man.
but
I
I'm
mean,
sure
it's
people
life,
listening,
You're
right?
doing your duty, so I mean,
That's the way I look at it.
yeah.
So we were in uh, a fob along MSR Tampa. That's one of the main supply routes in Iraq. Runs from the south all the way up to the north. So it's right next to an oil field.
Uh-huh.
This our base pretty much just had four standard walls. It was serpentine in between, but we had four guard towers on every corner. Every now and then we would get pop shot at the guard towers from a sniper inside the town. I don't know, about 300 400 meters away. We would get pop shot at the guard towers.
Yeah, just kind of toying with y'all.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
At this time he didn't end up hitting anybody, but he was getting closer and zeroed in more off every time he did it. So we about had enough of it. We wanted to go and make an observation post where we thought he was shooting from. So we go into the town about 2 a.m, silently took over somebody's house, told them they can't leave. You're not going anywhere. We're taking this place over for now. and we could do that at that time, not let anybody leave as long as we didn't mess with them.
That's crazy, man. Can you imagine how the family felt? They're just like, damn, you
Right,
know?
right. Yeah, that's why we really didn't mess. We took care of them, fed them, let them go to the bathroom and stuff, but we couldn't let them leave the house, so nobody
Yeah,
knew that we were
yeah.
there.
They could risk them letting people know where you're at. You know?
Right. Yeah, we're a small team by ourselves in this town. So next morning comes. We didn't see him that day. We ended up staying there that whole day and into the night. Next morning comes around. It was my turn up on observation post on the roof with the saw. Yellow taxi comes pulling up, or white taxi with orange doors. That's their taxis.
Uh huh.
Comes rolling up, and a guy gets out with his what looks like a Dragunov. You know
Yeah,
what that
sniper
looks like?
rifle.
Yeah, sniper rifle.
Yeah, Russian, correct?
Yeah, Kami. Could be Chinese, not exactly Russian, but they all look alike basically.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he comes up to the corner of the alley, gets ready to take a pop shot, and I put a 3-round burst in his leg. Now, when you're letting off on the machine gun, you want to start low because it's going to work its way up from the recoil. So I hit him in the leg, hip, and into the lower gut area with a 5.56 round.
Yeah.
And what I was thinking was going to happen from what I see in the movies, he was going to drop over dead. Dude didn't even hesitate. He jumped up like a deer and ran off after I fired a 3-round burst in him.
Damn.
Yeah. So it doesn't always happen like you see in the movies when people get shot.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So we wait about 20 minutes, seeing if anybody else was coming. Seemed like he was by himself. So we start following the blood trail. Followed him around the corner into somebody's house, and he's laying in there, bled out on the floor. And that was my first time, like, I knew that I killed somebody.
Yeah. What'd y'all do? Did you help clean up the scene or what? Do y'all just leave it there for them to handle it, or?
No, we called in another unit to come and get him so we can try to identify him, get some intel off of him.
Yeah.
Paperwork, license, all that good stuff.
See if you got any kind of stuff on them.
Right.
Oh man. And when someone passes away like that, do they still use their facial uh, for like some kind of facial recognition type of thing? They
Yeah,
just take a picture of the dead corpse.
well, we at that time we had these things. I don't know if it's still classified or not, but I don't think it
Well, if
is.
it was classified, let's just keep it classified, man.
Yeah.
I got
But
these fighter jets flying over right now. They know
I
we're doing
hear
an
that.
interview.
You're about to get a JDM on you.
God almighty, man. Let me find out you put in the hit, man. But yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy, but you gotta do what you gotta do, man.
Yeah.
When duty
Yep.
calls, you gotta answer it. Yeah, man. I appreciate you coming on to the show. I enjoyed it. I always enjoy hearing about people's military background and crazy stories coming from. I mean, just the bordellos and the Afghan bud snatching alone was enough to give it at least a 4-star in my book.
Yeah. I appreciate that, man. I wish I was a little less nervous and more clear-headed to where I could explain stories better. I'm a horrible storyteller to begin with.
Yeah.
And I'm a bad public speaker, so that's two things that are riding against me right now.
Yeah, well, I think you did good, man. I can tell you're a little nervous, but it's all right. And a lot of people, man, like I said to everyone that I have onto the show, don't mind the haters, don't mind the trolls. Someone calls you a liar or a fake. Look, I seen the photos, I seen the awards handed to you. Look, man, I know you ain't lying, So I appreciate you coming onto the show, telling your story, and just keep doing what you're doing, man. Taking care of your family, enjoying the show right here, and don't forget to hit the like button before you're done watching it.